Hey friends, quick interlude from Editing Liz to start. I've noticed that today, any clips that I filmed that were over 10 minutes, my computer decided to process in slow motion. So if you notice that I am very pixelated, very swooshy, it is not your computer, it's my camera. Rest assured, I'm working on that, but thanks for the patience today, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Thanks, bye. You know what I like? Sport weight yarn. Sport weight's having a revival, and I'd like to have a bunch of patterns for it. So today I'm going to find them, and you're welcome to come along. Let's get into it. So if you caught my video on my sweater quantity stash, you may be familiar with this. And I have a lot of this, specifically 11 balls of it that I got on a pretty good sale. This is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. This is the sport weight version of it. They do have a worsted weight version. It's a non-superwash wool, and this is the camel heather colorway. And I'm specifically looking for something to go with this today. If I pull up the page on their website for this yarn, it says that it's a sport weight yarn, and the recommended gauge is 6 stitches per inch, which is a basically 24 stitch gauge on size 3 to 5 needles. I'm not going to worry about the needles in my search because that is going to be different based on your intention anyway. But we're looking for something between like a 23 and a 25 gauge. And so that is kind of the foundation of my Ravelry search today. I am also going to be looking for something with some other specific parameters. The rules that we're sticking to are, I'm going to be selfish. I'm looking for something that I can wear. So I'm looking for an adult garment pattern, either women's or unisex. I'm looking for something with minimal color work. I do, in my stash, have a couple of balls of this in like a cerulean blue colorway, which I think would work for color work. There's also, I know a lot of people have that like precious skein of Spin Cycle that is, they do have a sport weight base. So maybe for some people, not for me. If I happen upon some of those incidentally that I like, I'll include them, but that's not really what we're looking for today. I don't want this to be like a summer top. I'm looking for something that I can wear in like transitional spring weather and inside in the winter, I think is about what I like sport weight for. And then bonus points, I like a cable or a textured stitch, just a little bit of interest, but like I'm not having to work with multiple balls of yarn at a time. So that's kind of what we're going for. The main thing that I'm going to be considering though in these patterns is something that I want to knit and wear. So if you have a very different aesthetic from me, which you probably don't know if this is your first time watching me, you may not enjoy this very much. I'm also going to try to keep it size inclusive. Not all of these patterns are going to be as size inclusive as I would like them to be, but I will disclose the size range and I'll call them out if I don't think they're doing a very good job. We're going to kind of go through this in categories. So I have, kind of like with my scrappy pattern video, if you saw that, I'm going to start with the stuff that's on the front page, the stuff that you find if you go and you say sport weight pattern, because some of them are really good picks and they're contenders for what I would want to use this for. But I didn't want to stop there because what's the point of being obsessive and searching for patterns if I don't get past the first page of Ravelry, right? So past that, I have 13 paid sweaters, 8 paid cardigan patterns, 5 free sweater patterns, 3 free cardigan patterns, and then 8 patterns that kind of miss the mark. I like them. I think they have potential, but for some reason or other, they weren't what I was looking for, but I still think they should be included. So let's get started. No hot chocolate yet. It's too early in the day. Too late for coffee, too early for hot chocolate. What am I doing with my life? All right, let's get started with the front page patterns. You go to Ravelry, you type in sport weight sweater, this is what comes up. I'm cheating because I got too excited about the other patterns and started talking about those first. But through the power of video editing, we're talking about this one first. So I have 6 patterns in this category, and I'm excited about all of them. One of these, the first one that I'm going to talk about, has been in my queue for a while. I'm going to list all patterns today with designer, size range, construction details, and then its price on Ravelry. These are all downloadable. It makes me so sad when I go to try to buy a pattern and then I can't buy it, or I have to find it in print somewhere, or it's been discontinued, and that just breaks my heart. So I'm not going to do that to you. But this first one is available online. This is the Yoki by Marianne Munier, and it is available in 9 sizes with a bust circumference ranging from 39.25 to 65 inches, recommended to be worn with 5 to 10 inches of positive ease. So I'm happy with that. It is a top-down drop sleeve construction, and it looks like exactly what I want out of a sport weight sweater. Textured to the point where it's going to have a little bit more of a barrier layer just along the front where I really want that extra warmth. But it's not too heavy. It is just stockinette on the back and on the sleeves, so it's not like I'm going to get stuck on cabled sleeve island, which is a terrible place to live. I think it's got all the makings to be the one that I choose at the end of this video, and we're just getting started. But that's that. This is available for $10.90, which is a little bit steep for me. I'm a little bit cheap with my patterns, but I can see no reason why this wouldn't be worth that to me. The next pattern that I have from my You've Seen This on the Front page is the My Fletching sweater by Jessica McDonald. And this is one of those where it has just a little bit of color work. The sizes available, this goes from a 32.75 inch bust to a 66 inch bust, which is perfectly respectable. It does have some color work, not too much. It looks like pretty much all of the sizes could be done in one skein for the color work, which is nice because that's what my stash looks like. I have 1 and change skeins of this yarn for color work aspect if I choose to do that. But this is also super simple color work. This is, I believe, a top down. Yes, this is knit seamlessly top down in the round. And these, I'll try to put this specific photo because I'm looking at the color work right now. There's no chance for any long floats. Of course, you're never working with more than 2 colors at a time because it's only 2 color work. And it looks like probably all of the increases in the yoke are done in between these, so you're not having to worry about a weird jog or anything like that. This looks like a super simple color work pattern, very good for like a beginner. Yeah, I don't think you could go wrong with this one. This is available for $8.50, and I will definitely have it in my queue even if I don't make it with this yarn specifically. The next one is kind of a weird sweater, in a good way. This is the CARDI jumper by Inês Oliveira. The size range on this goes from a 30 inch to a 62 inch actual bust circumference. And it's designed so that you can be wearing it as a V-neck cardigan or as a boat neck jumper. So you're supposed to be able to like reverse it. If I'm going to be honest, I would never wear this as a boat neck jumper, but I might get a lot of use out of it as a V-neck cardigan. It just looks like a really good, simple, basic. It is stockinette stitch worked flat and in the round, top down in one piece. And the finishes include working the button bands. So it doesn't look like it would be too complicated. It looks like it would be a very good wardrobe staple. So that's that. It is $10.73. I don't know if it's worth that to me personally, but it is very nice. And it is the right weight. I'm moving on. This one we've got the Maybe Queen by, I am not going to say this right, I'm so bad with French, La Maison Rililie? It's got too many L's and I's, I can't even tell which ones are which. I'm just going to copy paste that to this screen for you. The size range on this one, if I can find it, I look at these all and I consider them, and then I have to like locate it on the page. I should just take better notes, but I don't. Anyway, it goes from 31 inches to 52 inches, which is not great. Could be better, but there's also so little detail on this that I think you could probably modify it. I also think you could make it at a slightly looser gauge. So it's okay. You shouldn't have to. And so I'm gonna call that out. But It's a popular pattern. This is knit top down seamless. It has these fun little rib details, like it seems like an elevated basic. It does have a split hem. It has kind of a triangular ribbed, double ribbed, because it's ribbed wide this way and then narrow this way. And I love it I love both of the samples that they have in the pattern photos, but the brown one that has like the kettle dyed sort of, what is it called? Heathered? This heathered colorway. Oh, very, very pretty. This is available for $8.51. The next sweater is the Aphra sweater by Isabell Kraemer. This one comes with a finished bust circumference of 42 inches to 72 inches with a suggested ease of 8 to 12 inches. So, not too bad. I really like the pattern on the front. I think it looks like little acorns almost. And that I think would go well. Like her sample is in a brown very similar to this, so I think that maybe that's why I was drawn to this pattern, but it is very cute. It is worked seamlessly from the top down. The front is textured, the back and the sleeves are stockinette stitch. It's a drop sleeve. It's lovely. She gives yarn weights for a short sleeve version if you are into that. I am not. The pattern is $7.38. All right, and the last one in this category had to include a petite knit pattern. This is the Elisabeth blouse. This comes in a size range of 31 to 59 inches. So not too bad. She does recommend a couple inches of positive ease, which is pretty minimal for a petite knit pattern. And she does rate it as a 5 out of 5 difficulty, which for a stockinette collared sweater, I don't know why it would be that difficult. I think you can probably handle it. Her instructions for the one pattern of hers that I worked were so clear and easy. I think that it's probably going to be, for a 5 out of 5 difficulty sweater, probably one you can handle. It is top down. You work the collar, and then you work the yoke, and then you work the rest of the body. Yeah, this one is available for $6.85. Okay, that is all of the ones from the front page. Let's move on to the thing that I've technically already recorded, which is the paid for sweater patterns. The first pattern on the paid sweaters list is the Shray by Nidhi Kansal. I'm probably not saying that right, but this woman is a beautiful designer. The finished chest circumference on this pattern goes from a 37-inch bust to a 69-inch bust. So, love that. It says that it is to be worn with about 6 to 8 inches of positive ease, but you don't have to stick with that. Even with that, that's not too bad. That's pretty size inclusive. I like this sweater because it looks like it would be fairly easy to knit. Even the tester photos on the front page have some variety in the depth of the neckband. I don't like too wide, like a boat neck situation, but it doesn't look like everybody is doing that. It looks like it's a choose your own adventure there. And then the sleeves just have a nice little amount of detail at the bottom. There are these kind of asymmetrical points, and I'm imagining that that probably changes layout based on the size that you pick. But every single one that I see looks nice, so I don't think I would be upset with that, even if I had to pick a size that wasn't like the sample pattern, you know? This is a drop shoulder pullover worked from the bottom up and in the round to the underarm. A lot of people don't like bottom up sweaters. I don't mind them. I always gauge swatch though, so if you're one of those people who likes to fly by the seat of your pants, maybe not for you, but I like it. I think this would be a great option. This is available on Ravelry for $8 USD, and it's going to be in my queue. Moving on to the next one. Ooh, this next sweater is the McKie by another name that I am not probably going to do justice. First name's Hanna. Pretty confident with that one. Maciejewska? I don't know. I will, of course, spell it on the screen for you so it is easy to find. But this is a Beautiful sweater. The sizes available are 43.5 inch to 75 inch. And that's not great on the lower end, but it is suggested to have 9 to 11 inches of positive ease, so pretty size inclusive. This is a modern boat neck. It has some cables and some moss stitch and like enough interest that I think it would be pretty memorizable, but also it's really pretty. It is worked top down, and you are using German short rows and then joining in the round for the rest of the body, so there is some neck shaping there, which I like. Doesn't have a very narrow neckline, which is not always my favorite. I mean, today this is about as boat neck as I can do, but it's fine. I think it's really pretty, and I think that it offers something that my wardrobe doesn't really have. The McKie is available for $8 USD. On to the next one. Okay, this next one I really like. This is the Maple Flower by Audrey Borrego. And this is finished bust circumference from 37.5 inches to 72.75 inches. And it's so pretty. This has those bonus cables that I was really looking for, but not too much. Like the front is cabled, the back is stockinette, the sleeves are stockinette, so you're not working too hard for a sweater that basically looks all over cabled. It is a bottom up drop shoulder with the cable texture just on the front. So again, bottom up, I don't mind doing. I quite like it, honestly, but I could see some people being upset by that. It is much easier to work an existent cable pattern into your decreases than it is to increase into a cable pattern that you want, which is why a lot of cabled sweaters are knit bottom up. But yeah, I really like this one. I think it's a great option. Audrey Borrego, she has got to design a lot of stuff in sport weight, specifically in this gauge, because her patterns were popping up left and right in my search. Not all of them were quite as as this one. Some of them didn't make the list, but if you're looking for stuff and your aesthetic doesn't totally match mine, but you are looking for sweater patterns in this gauge and like in this yarn weight, look for her because she's got a ton. Love it. All right, this sweater specifically is available for $9.08 USD, and it is pretty. I would say that would be worth it to me. The next sweater on this list is the Grove sweater by Julie Hoover. This has a 45.5 inch to a 77.5 inch finished chest circumference, which is okay. I'm trying to see if it has a recommended ease. They say what their model is wearing it with. It says that she is wearing it with 10.5 inches of positive ease, which makes this a little bit less, there's just less sizes in between. There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sizes. The range spans about like a reasonable bust size, but you're probably going to be working with a lot of ease, and so they didn't feel the need to make all of those in-between sizes. So just keep that in mind if you want to knit this one. It is very pretty. It is flat in pieces from the bottom up and then sewn together. So that is not for everybody. I do like it a lot. I think it's worth it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm a proponent of seamed sweaters. They're a pain in the butt and you don't have the finished object right when you're done knitting, but the structure is so good. You know exactly how it's going to fit when you put it on, and it just looks really nice. The other sweater that I have in this yarn is a seamed sweater, so I know that it adapts really well to that sort of construction as well. This one's a drop shoulder, which is different than the other sweater that I have in this yarn, but I think it would look just as good. This is a little bit of the pricier pattern in this group. This is a 10 USD pattern. So that's usually kind of being a cheap person for like a standard pattern that doesn't have a bunch of extra bells and whistles on. That's about as much as I'm comfortable paying, but this does look like a really nice pattern. Moving on. The next pattern I have for you is the Paridae. Don't know how to say that. Don't know what it means, but it's pretty. And this is by Coraline Kerisit. Kerisit? It's all going to be spelled. I don't know how to say anything, apparently. This sweater goes from a bust size of 31 inches to 59 inches, so not terrible. It does have less positive ease. It's designed to be worn with only 2 to 8 centimeters of positive ease, so you're not minimizing the upper end of that bust size range because of all that negative ease or all the positive ease that you're needing to factor in. But yeah, this is just a nice kind of fitted sweater. I feel like this is really where sport weight yarn shines, where you can get a full-on cabled sweater, but you aren't really overwhelming yourself with the weight of it so that you can only wear it in like very specific climates. As someone in a location of the world with 4 seasons and transitional weather, this is a very valuable piece to put in my own wardrobe. I have positive feelings about that. Once again, this is another cabled on the front, stockinette on the back and sleeves, a little bit less positive ease than the previous one that I showed, just standard drop shoulder cable sweater. Love it. This one is available for $8.23 USD. Next, I debated whether to include this one. This is the Parland by Noragon. I do like Noragon, but I have to be honest that this is not the most size inclusive pattern. This goes from a 30-inch bust to a 54-inch bust, and it doesn't say how much positive ease is recommended. It doesn't look like there's a ton of positive ease based on the photos of this model, but personally I would like a sweater like this with more positive ease, so I think you have to be okay to at least kill your darlings or at least criticize your darlings. And here I think that like it would not have been that hard to go up to the next size. It looks like it would be easy to add more sizing to this because the cable pattern is just like a band here and a band on the front, and then there's stockinette that goes around the middle. So you could just basically cast on more stitches at the bottom. You don't have to worry about extrapolating that cable pattern. If you're comfortable with modifying this and just kind of doing your algebra and casting on as many stitches as you would need for the positive ease that you want, and then centering that cable pattern where you want it. Oh, hello. Needy little guy. And then centering that cable pattern where you want it. I think that even if you are not in that size range of what Nora has provided, you could definitely make this your size quite easily. You, again, wouldn't have the estimates of how much yarn you would need, which is a little bit inconvenient, but good pattern, and okay to be critical of things. It also doesn't say how this is constructed. I would assume that this is probably bottom up, but I couldn't tell you for sure. This is an $8 pattern, but it does come in an ebook with 15 patterns for $15. So can you see this? Do you just want to participate so bad? All right, well, we'll take a quick break. He's settled back on my lap. All right, the next sweater I have is the Spellman sweater by Dragon Horde Designs, which I really like the name of. If you're kind of a sci-fi fantasy person, kind of just want to like have a coffee with this designer maybe. The sweater itself comes in a bunch of sizes. It looks like it's supposed to be relatively fitted. Oh, she does say that she recommends 4 inches of positive ease. The finished bust measurements are 32 inches through 64 inches, so it's pretty size inclusive. Main body is stockinette, so again, you could probably do some modifications if you wanted it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. The sweater itself is a top-down raglan. It is most people's favorite construction, and really the only different thing about this than most top-down raglans is this sleeve detail, and I very much like this sleeve detail. It's very pretty. Bobble, cable, just enough to kind of give your sweater interest without making it feel like you are a decorated Christmas stocking. but do I also think that you might be able to DIY this sort of with like a good fitting raglan pattern that you already have, like a modified flax maybe by Tin Can Knits, probably, but also I don't know, it's a good sweater. If you're really cheap and really creative, you might be able to DIY this, but you can also just buy the pattern. It's really cute. It is available for $8 USD. And she has some other ones that were cute as well, but I didn't want to overload this with any one designer, but go check out Dragon Horde Designs because they're great. The next one that I have for you is Agern by Lyudmila Aksenik. Ooh, these names. I'm learning. Not really. I'm learning that I'm bad at pronouncing names is the thing that I'm learning. Humility, I guess, is what I'm learning. Anyway, this is a beautiful sweater. This comes in a 35.25 to a 68-inch bust. And they don't say what they recommend positive ease to be, but they do say that the model is 5¼ inches of positive ease, which I think looks nice. This is, I believe, a top-down yoke sweater. Yep, top-down in the round yoke. And I really like, it seems like a simple pattern, seems like it'd be fairly easy to memorize. The only beef I have with this sweater is that I really don't like the color that they chose to work it in. Like, it's just so close to a flesh tone that when I look at these details, it just looks like a like scarring or something. So I would pick a different color. But other than that, like, I think it's a really cute sweater. It looks warm, but not too warm, which is, you know, what you want out of a sport weight sweater. It is available for $10 USD, but it is also available in an ebook with 4 pattern total for $26 USD. So feel free to check that puppy out. The next one I have for you is the Spirit of Trees sweater by Irina and Anakiva. This is, I believe this was one of the ones that I wasn't as thrilled with the bust measurements on. Yes, this one goes from a 34 to a 56¾ inches. And the intended ease is 2 to 5 inches. So I don't want to call that out because I would like it to be a little bit better. Like, I think the expanded appropriate grading is up to like a 62-inch bust, and that probably isn't fully inclusive of everybody, but like that's kind of where the general accepted, like, yes, you're doing your job is. So would love for that to be a little bit better. But the sweater itself is quite pretty, and I think you could play with gauge a little bit because this already has a little bit of like a lacy pattern, so it's going to be a little bit more open anyway. I think you could knit this at a looser gauge and get a little bit better of a fit if you are in that larger size range. It's just really pretty. And I like the Spirit of Trees quote. Is that from an E. Cummings pattern? I'll look it up. But it's just really nice. It's a reverse stockinette yoke, and then the lace pattern is in the yoke itself, and then the rest of the body is stockinette, and it's like a 3/4 length sleeve. Very, very pretty. It is knit top down in the round with the yoke shaping. And I think it's really pretty. It's available for $9.50 USD. Just another option. Probably not one of my top contenders, but another one that this is kind of a borderline one because the gauge on this one does not fit the original prompt, which is a little bit weird. This is the Cannelloni by Svetlana Volkova, and it is knit designed for sport weight yarn, but it is an 18 stitch gauge. There's a Cannelloni mini, and I was looking at that because that's what came up even when I said adult size pattern in my search, and it stopped at not a great, like it had a very low end of its bust range, but it stopped fairly early, and I was like, this is a very weird shift for an adult women's size sweater. And then I saw that it was like called a mini, and so I went to the original one, And this one, a little bit looser gauge, but it is finished chest circumference of 31.5 inches to 67.4 inches and designed to be worn with 2 to 6 inches of positive ease. And I think it's really pretty. These are just some like giant cables, very like the way that they transition into each other looks very geometric in all the pattern photos, and I'm not sure how, but I love it. It is a top-down seamless construction. It looks like you pick up the sleeves and it's kind of a drop shoulder. It looks almost like I would want to knit it with a heavier weight yarn, but I will be definitely like just tucking this away in my queue for the future. This is available for $6.50 USD or in an ebook with 5 other patterns for $16. So that's great too. Here is another Audrey Borrego pattern. This is the Atlantica. Finished bust circumference from 35.5 inches to 70.75 inches. And it is kind of more lacy and bobbly than the last one. I did rule out a couple of Audrey Borrego patterns because they were too lacy, and I didn't want to really have to wear something underneath this garment unless it was going to be a cardigan, which we'll get to in 3 patterns. But I kind of thought this one looked like it was a tight enough lace pattern that I wouldn't need to if I didn't want to. Either way, it is very pretty. This one is knit bottom up and in the round to the underarm. Again, fairly highly textured pattern, easy to meld it into your neck shaping rather than going the other way. If you're super brave, you could probably try to figure out how to do it the other way around, but I wouldn't risk it with the lace pattern. I would just knit it bottom up because you can do it. You're brave, you're smart, you're strong, you're important. The last detail on this is the price, which is $9.08. All right, 2 more sweaters. And these ones I have included together because I definitely looked through these pattern photos and was like, I think I already saw that one. They are different sweaters, but the samples are knit in a very similar color and the design is pretty similar, but with slight differences. So I just thought it'd be fun to kind of have them together. The first sweater is called the Drago Brat sweater by Natalie Pellick. This one also comes with kid sizing, which is great. The adult sizes go from a 32-inch bust to a 62-inch bust, which I love. It is a top-down seamless sweater, and it's got some just kind of a fun yoke with projections down around the sides. This one's a little bit more cabled, the other one's a little bit more lace, and then ribbed going down the rest of the body. This one is a little bit longer, and this one includes kid sizes, but this one is for $8.50 USD. The second sweater is the Marcellus by Inga Semmingsen, and this one is, once again, seamless, top down in the round. The breast circumference goes from 36 inches to 56.5 inches, so not quite as size inclusive, but it also appears to be no positive ease. Yes, they actually even recommend some negative ease if you like the look of the pattern photos. So not too shabby. This one has a tighter rib, this one has more lace, this one doesn't have the children's sizing, and this one is available for $6.84. All right, that is all of the paid sweater patterns. Thanks for bearing with me. Let's get into the paid cardigan patterns. I'm gonna try not to sound froggy. All right, the next pattern that we have, starting with our paid for cardigan patterns, is the Cliffridge cardigan by Irina Anikieva. I think I already had a pattern by her in here. She must design with a lot of sport weight too. This sweater pattern comes in finished measurements of 34 to 62 bust circumference with an intended ease of 2 to 4 inches. This is a nice kind of lightweight sweater. It's not full length sleeves. It's got a little bit of lace in the front, but it looks like enough that it would be great to just toss on over whatever normal outfit you have in the spring or fall, which is great. It doesn't have buttons. It's designed to be open, but it looks like it's designed to kind of go over your bust a little bit and not to just like stop here, which bother me because this is where I want the warmth. So I want just a little bit of that. Can't have a breeze in my armpits if I'm wearing a cardigan. That's pointless. All right, well, that's my soapbox for the day. This is a bottom up cardigan, and has short row shaping for the shoulders, beautiful 3/4 sleeves. Yeah, this looks like a perfectly acceptable pattern to me. It is $9.50 USD, which for a bottom-up lace chart sort of pattern, I think is probably worth it. It does come with the potential of an ebook with 14 total patterns for $30. So if you like those other patterns, you could get it on a much better sale. Moving on to our next cardigan. This is the April cardigan by Matilda Cruz, and this comes in, it goes from 36.8 inches to 62.99 inches. And is recommended to be worn with 5 to 25 centimeters of positive ease. It's size inclusive. She's done the job. She didn't convert it to inches for me, but she shouldn't have to. Centimeters, I'm a self-aware American. Centimeters should be the one that we're using. It makes more sense. This is another bottom-up cardigan. You start with the ribbed hem. There's a lace pattern on the back that is just beautiful. I honestly like having the lace on the back. I like lace on the back, cables on the front, and then stockinette reversing it so there's not like too much on any one pattern, if that makes sense. Because I want my back to get a little bit of extra breeze and I want my front to be kept warm. So I like that design feature. This is supposed to be a loose fit cardigan with drop shoulders and tight sleeves. The sleeves are ribbed, so it's not like you're knitting in stockinette to the level that it's going to strangle you. It's just going to hug your arms nicely. I'm going to show off all your hard work at the gym. I think this is beautiful. It is available for $7.15, and it is probably a top contender. If I don't make it with this yarn, I would gladly make it with another yarn. The next one we have is the Autumnal Cardigan by Hanna Fettig. Oh, it looks so cozy. This comes in finished busts of 34 to 62 inches, and it is long and cozy. It was not originally published with up to the 62 inches. They have expanded their size range, which I love rewarding designers for, but this just looks so long and cozy. And here's something that I haven't talked about. I'm not going to have enough to make all of these patterns in my size, but I'm not going to rule them out, because if you're significantly smaller than me and you have the same amount of yarn as me, you may be able to make this cardigan. With this length, I don't think I'm going to have enough to make it with this stash yarn. But this pattern is going to go in my queue or in my favorites because I want to make it at some point, and I might buy yarn for it. Really, really cute and cozy. Looks like something you would just wrap up in. This is written from the bottom up, and then you work the front and back separately once you get to the underarm, and then you pick up that big collar last. The second half of the collar is worked with a larger needle, allowing it to fold open. That's so clever. I love that. This is available for $5.95, and I think that'd be totally worth it to me. This next cardigan is the Crooked River Cardigan by Kay Hopkins. This comes in size ranges from 34 inches to 66.5 inches and is designed to be worn with 4 to 6 inches of positive ease at the chest. This looks like an excellent basic. It's kind of a textured rib. You can knit it to whatever length you want. There's some people that have it more tunicky. There's some people in these photos that have it more cropped, and it looks great both ways. It doesn't have buttons. It does look like there's a button band. It's top down and seamless. Yeah, I would definitely like to knit and wear this 100%. It is $9, but it looks like a good amount of thought and detail went into it, and the construction ease of making it top down is really nice. So it looks like something that I would buy at like a store without a second thought and just be like, yeah, that's I'm going to wear that all the time. It doesn't matter what color it is. That is going to go with everything that I own. The next pattern we have is the Hidden Meadows cardigan by Irina Anakieva. Is that the third pattern I have by this woman? It might be. I keep seeing her name and I might just be going crazy. This is another excellent cardigan. She must also construct a lot of sport weight patterns. The finished measurements for this one go from a 30-inch to a 58-inch with an intended ease of none to 1 inch, so not too bad. And this is a little bit more cable design on the back. This one is a top-down cardigan again. It does flare out at the bottom, which I like. The one downside to this, and I'm including it for you, not for me, is that this is one of those cardigans that looks like it's going to stop on the outside of the bust. so I would have to do something about it if I was going to make it for me, but it's really pretty and size inclusive, and it is $9.50. The next pattern is the Cozy Hug CARDI by Marianne. The bust circumference goes from 36 inches to 67 inches, and it's designed to be worn with 2 to 3 inches of positive ease, so not too bad. It does have this cute little waist tie that goes with it. There's no buttons again, but it looks so soft and cuddly and cozy. It's designed in drops alpaca, so you can definitely see in the sample there's more like little fluffy guard hairs, which I really like. This would probably be one where I think a lot of people have the mindset of don't use a second strand with a textured stitch or with a cable or something, but I think this is one of those ones where it's just going to make it more cozy if you were to hold it with a second strand or with a really fluffy yarn in the first place. I would like to have this. I don't know if this is the yarn for it, but I want it. This is available for $5.68. Our penultimate cardigan pattern here is the Sunset Rock by Lori Versace. This is available in bust sizes 30 inches to 54 inches. Could be a little bit better. I don't think I realized that when I was looking at this. It does have overlapping fronts, so that's exciting. Yeah, I do wish it were a little bit more inclusive on the upper end. This is a bottom-up construction, and then the sleeves are worked flat to the cuff and seamed, so it looks like it'd have pretty good structure for kind of a loose, flowy cardigan. But again, not everybody's probably into that construction style. This is available for $9. This last paid cardigan pattern is the Servion, again by Audrey Borrego. I like her stuff, apparently. This is available in a finished bust circumference of 33 3/4 inches up to 59 inches. It is a drop shoulder cardigan, textured all over. It has fake seams, which I love, that keep the body structured, apparently. You are supposed to choose a size with 1 to 6 inches of positive ease, which feels pretty choose your own adventure to me, which I like. I'm trying to see if it's knit top down or bottom up. Tell me your secrets. Knitted from the top down. So that's great. Yeah, I have no problems with this cardigan. It's very cute. It almost looks kind of herringbone-y in its textured stitch, so I'd be very interested. I mean, I'm probably just going to have to buy the pattern, but it's $7.95, so not really breaking the bank that much either. Yeah, it's cute. I would love to have this finished piece. All right, that is all of the paid for patterns that I would like to discuss today. Well, not quite. We are going to talk about some kind of miss the mark paid for patterns. But before we do that, let's talk about some free patterns, because there's always good free patterns out there. You just got to find them. All right, we're going to start with I'm shaking it up. We're going to start with the free cardigans and move to the free sweaters, because we got to keep life unpredictable. The first free cardigan that I have for you is the Rolled Cardigan by Christina Gordon. And this might be my favorite of the free patterns. This is so pretty. The chest circumference goes from 36 inches to 72 inches. And she gives you measurements for the bicep and the wrist as well. It is a recommended ease of 4 to 8 inches. So going up to 72 inches, that's still quite size inclusive. And I love that. Good work, Christina. I also love the color that she chose for this. She says it's very beginner friendly. I cannot tell if this is top down or bottom up, but I can't see a reason why it would need to be bottom up, because this is just a normal textured stitch pattern. It doesn't have anything too crazy as far as like a cable pattern or anything that you don't want to interrupt. But it's so cute. It's a textured stitch on the body and then a drop shoulder with bobbles. And I love it. It's so cute. I think it looks really good in the type of yarn that she chose. It's not variegated. What is it called? It'll come to me the second I stop filming. Anyway, but this style of yarn looks really good with it. Just a little bit of variation, but not a whole ton to distract. I think this looks like a very good wardrobe basic with just a little bit. What does she use? She uses the word pizzazz. So gorgeous, easily memorizable, bobbles. Why would you not? The next free pattern I have, this is the Decimal by Snowden Becker. And this comes in a size range of 33 inches to 57 inches. Again, this is a free pattern, so I kind of gave things a little bit of slack for not going all the way up to and past 60 inches, but 57 is still pretty good. It does look like this one's not written for to require positive ease. It looks pretty fitted in all the pattern photos. This is one I might not make it to pattern. I think if I were to make this one, I would want to take this sleeve and make it full length and gather it in at the bottom. So it would be kind of more of a balloon sleeve and less of a like bell sleeve. But that's the only thing. It is also very lacy, so I'd have to wear something underneath it. But this would be more of a statement cardigan than it would be an everyday basic cardigan. So just an option. It's free. Why would I not include it? The next one that I have is the, God, this has got a weird name. I hate it when this happens. A lot of times like drops free patterns will have weird names. And this one's weird and French. Okay. 22 Gilet Court Manchelon M2088 by Bergère de France. Bergère de France. Just read. Don't listen to me. Just read the things that I write. It'll make more sense. Ugh, Elisabeth. This comes in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sizes, which is a bust range. Hold on, did I download this? My word. Okay, so there's a reason that this is a free pattern. It's because it's kind of difficult to download. I don't know what the bust range is on this. I could have sworn I looked it up the other day, but I'm having a lot of difficulty right now. I think I'm just going to edit this part out. Hold on, I can't edit that out. All right, I'm including pictures and words of this one. Just know that this is going to be kind of hard to get from their website. It's not impossible, but I'm struggling a little bit. But it's really cute. I would like to have this, and I love the fact that it's available for free, but you're going to have to be comfortable with technology enough to jump through a few hoops to get this one. Sorry. Moving on to the next free pattern. This is the Pullovers 688T18226 by Fildar Design Team. This comes in a 34-36 up to a 50-52 is what they call their size ranges. Not great, but it is a free pattern. I believe this one is seamed. It reminds me a little bit of one of those front page patterns that we were talking about, but it does have these, it's a little bit more geometric. I don't know. I like it a lot. I think I would enjoy having this one, but it's probably going to be a little bit less user-friendly than the, what was that one called? Than the Maybe Queen by that La Maison Rililie. Alrighty. The next one is the 205-9 Tender Thoughts by Drops Design. This one comes in a small through XXXL, and it is available for free. This one is designed to be worn with some negative ease because it is all over ribbed. It's just kind of got these fun little V situations, and then the sleeves are stockinette. So it is cute, but I have trouble determining whether something is truly size inclusive when, one, it doesn't really give me great measurements on how it's expected to end up, and two, when it is designed for a bunch of negative ease. So grain of salt, free pattern. Very pretty though. This next one's a little bit more accessible. This is the Hollow Oak Pullover by Melissa Liebman. This is available on the Cascade Yarns website. This one is available in a 38 bust to a 59-inch bust, so not too bad. Only comes in 5 sizes, but if you're wearing it with some positive ease, usually that doesn't matter too much anyway. It's cute. It's an all-over cable, but it's a very easily memorizable cable, it looks like. They call it the Hollow Oak pattern, and it's got a rolled neckline. It just looks very basic, and if you're looking for something mindless that's going to be kind of that a little bit of a barrier layer, something that's lightweight, so using that sport weight yarn, but you can probably carry it in your bag and use it as like a layering piece in between seasons and things like that. I think this is a great option and on a budget. This next one is the Ribbed Top L0576 by Lion Brand Yarn, available on their website. And this is once again, designed to have negative ease, but the finished bust unstretched is 29 inches to 43 inches, which does not sound like it would be great. They're calling them small through 2X, so definitely could be better. Almost certainly, but it's a free pattern. It looks like a good little wardrobe staple. If you're looking for a ribbed top with 3/4 length sleeves, this does not look like a bad one to choose. And then the last free pattern I have is the Rosabella by Emily Nora O'Neill. This one's on the Borrego website, and this one has a bust of 40 inches to 58 inches, so I think that's probably the best of the size inclusivity for the free patterns. This one is worked in pieces and seamed, and it is lace to the point where you would probably have to wear something underneath it. But I just think it's really pretty. Very, very classic, very feminine, but it looks like there's like lace with a little bit of a bobble in it, and I just really enjoy that. I think this would be a great addition to most people's wardrobes. It's all over, but it's not loud, so I think it would just be a nice seasonal transitional piece, which is what I want sport weight yarn for. So that is all of the patterns that I'm like actually considering making. And then I've got some that I wanted to show that just didn't quite understand the assignment. So we'll get to those. I'm trying to decide what order to do these in. I think I'm going to start on the ones that were disappointing and then move on to the ones that were great but didn't quite meet what I was looking for. So there's a couple that are disappointing but promising. The first one that I've got is the Marcus by Alice Hammer. And this one is a just kind of standard, beautiful, all over textured rib cardigan V-neck. It's really pretty. I think it would go in everyone's wardrobe. The thing that I was disappointed by is the size range, because right now there is 5 sizes and it only ranges from 104 centimeter to 119 centimeters for bust circumference, which is not great. It says more sizes coming soon, so hopefully this will be a more promising pattern in the future. But right now it is a $9 pattern, which I think they can do better, and I think they are planning to do better. So hopefully in the future I can be able to wholeheartedly recommend this one. But the body is knitted bottom up, and then the sleeves are worked top down. You pick them up around the drop shoulders. So I don't know, I think it's a really good, beautiful basic, and if you fall within this size range, that's awesome for you. But I personally am probably going to wait to buy it until she has those expanded sizes out, just as kind of a good work. Vote with your dollar sort of thing. The next one that I have is the Richter by Julia Wilkins. It comes in small/medium, large, and extra large/2XL. Could be better on size ranges, especially for a sweater that looks like it's probably... I always think that yoke sweaters you really have to nail the sizing with in order for them to fit right. And this is a yoke sweater. This is a top-down sweater. And I like the color work in it. It has a little bit of like Eye of Sauron vibes, which doesn't sound like it would be a selling point, but just like the color work that she chose. Look, if you agree with me, agree with me. If you don't, you don't. But again, it's a $7.38 pattern, and I feel like there should be more than 3 sizes for that. So I don't know. It could be better. I do think it's pretty. I would like to knit this, but again, I'll probably wait to purchase it until she has more sizes. There's nothing on this page saying that there are more sizes coming, so this might just live in favorites forever without getting made. So we'll see how that goes. The next one, and this is actually one that was on the front page, and then I got kind of annoyed by it and moved it to this. This is the sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I have purchased and made My Favorite Things Knitwear patterns, but I'm aware that they kind of have a reputation for not being size inclusive. And I saw this one initially and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. The finished circumference goes from 43.25 to 58.5. Like, that's good for them. And then I realized, like, this thing is made to have, like, I can't even see where it says recommended ease. And I'm sure that they might have removed that because of these, like, allegations of not being size inclusive. But if this model is like a 30-inch bust circumference, which she might be, and is wearing a 43.25, 58.5 inches being their top size is not size inclusive. So this is supposed to be a pretty oversized sweater. This is not that complicated of a pattern. Like, I could probably grade it up without any issue. I don't know why they don't, which is upsetting. But if you wanted to get like a free drop shoulder pattern and DIY your own like 2x2 cable like this sweater has, I think that'd be gorgeous, and I fully support it. In fact, I might do that because this is such a classic look. I don't think it'd be a bad thing to do. And I think that with a little bit of algebra and a little bit of confidence, you could easily do it. Moving on to the patterns that are perfectly fine. They just weren't what I was looking for today. The first one I have is another Audrey Borrego pattern. This is the Oleander, and this has a finished bust circumference of 37.25 inches to 73.5 inches. And the only reason that this one is on this list and not on that main paid for pattern list is because I would definitely have to wear something underneath it. This is much more of a lace sweater, and it is all over lace. It's really pretty. Had it been free, it would have been in the main category, like that other full all over lace sweater. It's just I'm not considering this yarn for it. It is worked from the bottom up, and it has drop shoulders and a V-neck. Very cute. If you live in a warmer climate and like this is the sort of sweater that you need like in the middle of winter for you, or the middle of the dry season, yes, make this. Please make this. It is $9.08 and it's beautiful. Moving on. Again, this is one that is not the season I'm looking for. This is the Le Gatsby top by Pina Candio, and it's knit in the Pasquale Cumbria, which is a cotton and rayon blend. So if I get a cotton rayon blend sport, I'm seriously considering this pattern. It's beautiful. It comes in 11 sizes. Love that. And the bust measurement, if I can get to the English, is 27.5 inches to 47.2 inches. So that actually could be better, and I didn't realize it until just now. Okay, never mind. This goes on the wait list, but the design of it is really pretty. It has some kind of like fun textured stitch on top and then a little peplum at the bottom. Really pretty. But yeah, would like to have more of a bust range. I got too excited and I didn't realize that. It's disappointing. Oh well, it's $6.81, but I'll probably just kind of keep it in the back of my mind and see if they ever expand size ranges before I purchase it. The next one is actually a free pattern, but it so missed the mark of what I was actually looking for that I did include it in here rather than leaving it in the free patterns. This is the 223-20 Summer Land Jacket by Drops Design. And this is available in small, medium, large, extra large, extra, extra large, and extra, extra, extra large. So not too bad for a free pattern. It doesn't give me what those measurements relate to, but 3XL is more than I see for most free patterns nowadays. This is really cute. It's just a little lace jacket, kind of cropped, airy sleeves. Again, I think I would want to knit this in like a cotton. They're knitting it in a baby merino, but I think I would want it in more of like a summer yarn, and definitely not with the one that I have in stash. This next one, I definitely would knit with the yarn that I have in stash, but it's a vest. This is the Harris by Tricot Designs MCL, and this is from an extra small to a 5XL, which is a 33.5 to a 65-inch bust. And they do note that they couldn't find 4XL and 5XL testers. So if you want to test this after it's been put out and you're knitting those sizes, she says she'll send it to you. So love that. But I really like this vest. I think it's really cute. I would like to own it. I would not use up nearly enough of this yarn that I have on this. So gonna wait for that. This is $6.56. The last sweater I have on my list of just didn't understand the assignment sweaters is the Maggie sweater by Sis Friedens. This is on the Hobby website, and this comes in a small to a 4XL. That is a width of 17.3 inches to 26.8 inches. I will let you do that math personally, but that's pretty good. This is a lovely sweater. I really like it. It is all over color work. It has like kind of a fun gradient. I really enjoy it, but I would need equal amounts basically of two colors, almost equal amounts of two different colors, and that is not what I have. So yeah, at some point in the future, almost certainly would make this sweater. Really like it. Would probably buy this sweater if it was like a commercial sweater. Not what we're looking for today, folks. So that is everything. That is the entire sport weight collection that I have been slowly putting together. If you have ones that I missed, please drop them in the comments. Let me know. On my last scrappy video, a couple people gave me like some of the really good ideas, and I'm reevaluating my whole scrap plan now. You have plenty of time because I have other knitting commitments and I'm probably not going to be casting on anything with this for a while. So let me know if you think there's something else I should make with this. I also have some very ostentatious fluorescent red yarn in a sport weight that I could be making things with. So let me know. Either way, thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking around if you're here still. And I hope you are having a great day, knitting something that makes you happy. Feel free to subscribe if you like. I make podcasts every other week, and then on the off weeks, I either do stash hauls or weird pattern hauls like this, Fever Dreams, and then I share them with you. Anyway, thanks for sticking around and happy knitting. Bye.